Neisau Bula, my name is Neisau Tuidraki, and we are back again behind the sacrifice for the Soli Bula animated film. And with me tonight, it is actually going on nighttime in Fiji. I'm in Melbourne, but with me tonight is Knox. Knox, so good to have you here, my brother. I guess let's just get right into it. What are you doing for the Soli Bula film?
All right, Mbula Neisau, and thanks for having me on this interview this lovely evening. Yes, what am I doing? Okay, I'm putting music to the animation. So doing the background soundtrack. Actually, it's a few soundtracks and all meshed into one long thing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So can you tell me a little bit about what's influencing the sound of the soundtrack? I mean, like it's an interesting concept, the film, right? Because it's about we're looking at Fijian culture had we not been influenced by colonialism. So what's some of the key things that we can expect from the soundtrack?
Well, basically, what I've been doing is I've been talking to Meli about it because it's important that I send across a message that he wants to be heard. Because at the end of the day, it's his film, and his message is what's important. So yeah, all the cultural aspect of the setting in that animation in the film, and also the scenarios that he's put together. So those are all affecting the sound that we're doing. So yeah, the most recent one that I bounced back to him came back and he said, "Okay, can we change it? It sounds a bit too scary." And I want it to be a glorious thing, and not a scary thing, I was like, oh, okay, cool, all right, back to the drawing board. So yes, it's very important for me to be able to do that and get his views and all, because at the end of the day, it's his gig, and it's his message, it's his creation. So we are all here to help him get his message across.
That's so amazing that you guys are working in collaboration. I guess my next question is, prior to coming out of lockdown, the majority of that time when you started production, it was all in your own bubbles, right? Like you were all just going along, chugging along, and doing your own things. And like a couple of the crew are part of families. I know that you've got a family, and so how was that like working with in your own bubble and I suppose with kids at home?
Well, for me, the thing is that the family moved to Australia shortly after the lockdown.
Right.
So I had enough time on my hands to be able to do stuff, and on top of that, I had other projects on the go, and so it was bouncing back and forth. So whatever I'm feeling on the day, that's a project that I'm going to sit on that day, because I had a few of those going, including my own music, my own album that I'm putting together. So yes, having the time, having the family away, actually, it's been a blessing in disguise in terms of being able to spend all the time working and not having to take time off and run family errands, or and I could wake up in the middle of the night and go down to work and not having to worry about sleeping in the next day. So yeah, so that's how it went during the lockdown.
So let's talk a bit about all of Fiji knows Knox the artist. We know the fantastic movie, sorry, the fantastic movies that you've been, music rather, that you've been putting out. But you also do something else, and that's make soundtracks for these big companies in the US. Could you talk a bit more about that?
All right, yeah, I've been doing work for Venacore Music from America. David Venacore is known as the godfather of reality TV music. And I've been working for his company now for the past 5 years, and been doing whatever projects he sent across to me, and laying stuff on the tracks, and right now I'm doing that again right now. I was on American Survivor season 41 earlier around July. I completed that June, July. And then now I've got work at the moment to I would work on season 42 American Survivor now. And I got to hand it in by this Saturday. That's my deadline. So and then on top of that, I also have to fill up his reggae repertoire, his reggae library. So I have to create reggae sounds for his library. So yeah, it's amazing working that way, because I've always wanted to create, just sit and create, and not having having those parameters that are put on me by the popular music, by that scene. So having this, doing soundtracks for TV and all that has actually helped me with, fully bringing out my passion and helping me grow. And it's also helped me see the world in a different way,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah, and it's also a thing, it's made me realize that there's more to music than just releasing a song on the radio. It's music is a huge and diverse thing. So yeah, I'm actually glad that I stumbled across David Benacore. So yeah, I hope to carry on with that and keep impressing him with my work, and keep growing.
Fantastic, man. So, I mean, boy, that's so amazing. Like, Fijian artists working for, like big companies like that. So, man, on ya. Really, really good to see and hear that.
No
Um,
problem.
I think my next question would be, in terms of the movie, like, what's one thing you're looking forward to when the movie hits the big screen?
In terms of the movie, it's actually what I actually want to see is how people will react, because of the way that Melly's put it. It's it actually makes people. It'll make you think. It'll it'll challenge your mind. And you have to have an open mind to be able to to properly interpret the message that he's putting across. And there's so much contrasts in the scenes. You have the modern and the old, and all of that mixed in together in one day, in one setting. And yeah, so many people, I know some people won't be able to get it. They won't get it, but it's amazing to actually see how people receive it. It's I'd say it'll be similar to what people who push that envelope, like Guy Ritchie and all these guys, and what's his name? Well, I need to off the top of my head.
But yeah,
They actually challenge, the way movies are done. It's not just traditional storyline and all. They actually,
yeah,
they're making you think, and they're pushing your mind, and and you can actually concoct your own conclusion to the movie, in your head. And they just, so this is something like that. And it's awesome, and I can't wait, to see what else he has in store after this one, because I know it's a growth thing too.
yeah.
So once he gets this one out, and he'll get more he'll be more bold to come up with with even more mind-boggling stuff, and so I can't wait to watch these things grow. And yeah, it'll be awesome if I stay and grow along with it too. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I totally agree with you. Like it's such a that it's like another take that your normal Fijian wouldn't think about, right? Like it's like, oh my gosh, like it's open to interpretation. And I
Yeah,
totally agree with you. Seeing people's reactions it's going to be something that's I think will be the highlight. How did they take that? How are they going to interpret it? So totally agree with you. My next question is, I've asked each and every one of the crew members of Soli Bula, like each of you has your own like forte, like musicians, cultural advisors, every single one of you has honed your craft and you're doing something. Basically, all of you guys are putting your craft towards something that hasn't been done in Fiji before. Like this has not been done. It has
yeah,
We haven't seen an animated movie that's been crowdfunded, and it's all of the crew 100% Fijian, based in Fiji. These are our own Fijians who have honed their crafts. What's your advice to the next generation? Because you are sort of like lighting the path for the future generations of what's to come. What's your advice to them? As cliche as it sounds, but like, what's your nugget of wisdom for them?
yeah. My advice would be, don't drop the baton. Just run faster. You know, and yeah, we're part of we're pathfinders, so to say.
Yeah.
We're breaking breaking into new grounds, and we hope that one day there'll be people that are growing up that would, look at what we're doing, and they will get challenged, and they will be stimulated by what we're doing right now, and they will move on and take what we're doing and take it to the next level, you know. And that's basically the hope, because we don't want this to die out after we are gone. So I can see there is, like, for me as a musician, the I can see music is a bit of a, especially learning how to master your instrument. It's a bit of a dying culture in Fiji. You know, lots of people are getting onto studios and all, and it's so easy to create music in a studio now with all the the programs that you have at your fingertips that actually help you make music, and all the samples that are already there. All you have to do is put things together and go. And sometimes I think it makes people feel like they don't really have to learn an instrument, because everything's there, easy, and and they think that they'll get away with it. But I don't know, am I old school in that sense? Or, I just hope that people will actually get to do that, and they, just don't drop the baton. Like I said at the beginning, don't drop the baton, just learn to run faster and keep breaking the record.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from, because it's also, I mean, like, you've got your basic instruments like the drums, the guitar, and whatnot, but then also, and another element of it, you're looking at indigenous guardianships when people are playing the
Yeah,
lali or whatnot, and those
yeah,
are things that I suppose we need to safeguard, right? We need to sort
yeah,
of continue on, and I understand that, like I understand what you're saying. We've got the element of digital music where we can produce everything on the computer, but we should
yeah,
always remember where we've come from, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, man, Knox, thank you so much for the chat tonight. I really enjoyed that, and I wish you all the best of luck with the soundtrack for the upcoming Soli Bula film, and I can't wait to hear it. Thank you so much, and Moe de Mata.
Naka. Have a good evening.